Hey everybody, welcome to this special edition of Grilling at the Green live from the Standard Portland Classic at Columbia Edgewater in North Portland, right next to the airport, which you will hear the jets flying over during this hour here. I want to talk to you real quick before I introduce my first guest, which is the Standard Insurance Company. The partnership of the Standard Insurance and the Portland Classic underscores the Standard's dedication to supporting women's sports, along while elevating the tournament's impact on the Portland community. Little something new this year: for every birdie made on the eighth hole, Standard Insurance will donate $500 to support the first tee of Oregon, and they're shooting for $40,000. Now, it's only the second day, so I don't know what the tally number is, but we'll find out before the end of the weekend. My first guest, friend of the show, we've talked many times. This is actually the second time we've met in person. First time was when this was held up at the Oregon golf course, and you went buzzing by me in a golf cart, but that was several years ago. Kay Cockerill from the Golf Channel and NBC. It is so very nice to have you here.
Great to be here. Thank you for this special session.
You've covered this event many times, and I know you like to come back to Portland because of the food and the great company you keep here. But what's your overview so far of the tournament, Kay?
Well, this was always one of my favorite events to play
Hmm?
on tour when I was competing, and it's still one of my favorites to walk the fairways and call the golf. And that's because I'm a Northern Californian. This is relatively close to home with similar terrain. It just feels like home. I love the atmosphere in Portland. I have a lot of friends here. I love this golf course. It's just one of my favorites. It's such a beautiful course. You never get tired of playing it. It shows so well on TV. And like you said, the food scene is pretty darn good too. You can find some good food trucks, you can find great neighborhood restaurants,
Mm-hmm.
and a variety of food.
As you can tell by looking at me, it's a wide variety of foods like that. I don't think we've ever really talked about this on the regular show when you've been on the radio show before, but here we are. You got to go to work here in an hour and a half or so, or similar. What is your prep like when you're getting ready to go live? And this year, this tournament is live on Golf Channel and stuff, which is kind of different.
Yeah, I pretty much have the same routine. A lot of times I get up in the morning and I read the transcripts from the night before, the media interviews with the players that had good rounds, and cherry pick out a few things that I might want to talk about,
Hmm.
especially if it pertains to the group that I'm following. And then I have my little notes, my little
Oh
little
yeah,
cheat sheet. My group today: Hinako Shibuno, Heiranu Yu, and Chisato Iwai. So I have just kind of compiled basically what they did yesterday, birdies and bogeys, their key highlights on the year. And I may or may not even mention any of these things. If they say you prep and you might use 10 or 15% of all
right.
that you prep, but I have it here. And then in going through it, it kind of gets me thinking about these players and what they've done well, where they've struggled, and just gets me kind of set for the day. And then after I talk to you, well, the driving range is only about 100 yards away.
Right.
So I'll head down there as the players are warming up, and I'll talk to their caddies, mostly their caddies, and or if any coaches are around or family members, and just glean a little extra information. I haven't worked an LPGA event in over a month, so I've watched them on
Hmm.
TV, but have they done anything different with their game? Any
Yeah.
change of clubs, any new clubs, any drills, any things that they've spent extra attention on?
The caddy information network is very important.
It's huge.
You can get a
Yes,
lot, sometimes more than you want to know, I think, but
exactly.
it's always readily available.
And that was a key point that you said. I've learned a lot of information from family, from caddies, from the players themselves, that is actually quite private and that I wouldn't share
Right.
unless they give me the okay.
Right.
If it's something kind of interesting, I'll say, "Oh, that's, quite fascinating. Is that something I can share?" And they're like, "No, I'd rather keep that private."
Sure.
And I've never felt like I'm the type of journalist that needs to break something, especially if it's salacious or
Yeah,
something
you don't want to
TMZ
break.
style. That's not an interest for me.
Right.
And I've gained a lot of respect from the caddies, the players' families, because they know I'm not going to say something, but it's in the back of my brain and kind of helps me understand maybe why that player is the way they are.
You don't want to ever break that trust. A couple of things. What is your most fun part in covering Portland, this event, the standard? Not about the food and the friends, but as far as on the course, is there one hole that you walk? Is there one section of the course that historically you say this is a tough 3 holes?
Well, we focus mostly on the back nine,
Right.
and the back nine on Sunday is the most important nine in golf, especially if there's a lot of players jockeying for position. Who is going to be able to execute the shots under pressure when it counts on the final day? But I think this is one of the most beautiful, pleasant walks in golf. It's easy to get from hole to hole, not a lot of elevation change, so it's an easy walk. And with these gorgeous trees, these sequoias that are out here, I love, let's see, I love, let me think about 10. 10 has a great payoff. You could go for it and hit it in 2, but there's water, so if you're in trouble, then you lay up. I love some of the quirkiness where you have to be a little bit strategic off the tee. 15 is a great par
Right.
4 that goes left to right. Do you hit driver and challenge the bunkers, or do you stay short? 16's a tough little par 3. 17 and 18 are tough par 4s. That's a great finish.
And if you've not been here, folks, actually the first tee is 18 in the normal or the 10th.
Yes.
They flip the nines here for this. So, excuse me, if you've never played or you've never been here, it's not the normal layout. I'll just put it that way.
But this 18th is where you want to finish. And for the tournament, it works really well because it requires a straight drive. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. You got to stand up on 18 and hit a straight drive.
Right.
Whether you're more comfortable your 3-wood or your driver, I don't care, but it has to be straight or you're laying up to avoid possibly going in the lake. And the green itself is really, really demanding.
Well, and the pin placement on Sunday is always kind of from where we're sitting, it's over that way, and it can be tough. I know when I was a photographer here, I'd always camp out by the fence over there.
I bet you got some beautiful shots.
Oh, it was great stuff, but this side was always the toughest to shoot them from over here. Just, I don't know, from a simply framing the image deal. Personal question: did you ever put one in the water here?
No, I didn't.
Good for you.
I'm sure I punched out a few times and laid up well short. The old adage, if you're going to lay up.
Yeah.
Drives me insane when people lay up into trouble.
Yeah.
And as a golfer, when I did that, I just thought that was such a mental error.
Do you still play?
I have a love-hate relationship with the game. The problem is I still have expectations of playing decent golf, but I also know that without practice, that's pretty impossible. Right. My game, and actually my swing and the way I hit it is fairly good relative to me getting up there in years and relative to when I was a 20-year-old, but the short game is so inconsistent. And that, if people are listening, I don't care who you are, spend 75% on your short game.
Yes.
And I'm talking 100 yards in, wedges, chipping, and putting. Yes, it's fun to go bang balls. Do that if that makes you happy. But if you really want to improve your golf game, if you want to lower your scoring average, you have to practice the short game.
Well,
and you fall in love with practicing the short game. Make it fun.
Yes. Well, pro tip, and been around here a couple days. If you set your watch, and I'm just making up an example, they'll spend 45 minutes on the range, and they'll spend an hour and a half on the putting green. I watched Carolyn Inglis because I know her, and I was watching her the other day. She hit some balls, but she was on the putting range first, or the putting green, I should say. And she went and hit some balls, and then she came back to the putting green.
Yep.
So
that's what
makes winners.
That's what high-level players will do.
Yeah. They don't just stand out there and bang a large bucket and we're out.
Well, they like to do that too, but the ones that know that know their own games know they have to put in the time on the range. I always say if you only have half hour to practice, go to the putting green first, get your putting in, maybe a little chipping, and you might be enjoying that. I only have 10 minutes left. Then go to the range and hit a few shots.
Yes.
And you'll have gotten a good practice in.
So this is an odd question for what we spoke of a few minutes ago. How are there players that sometimes you just wish, no names, Kay, that you wish, that's a tough draw for me today to cover?
I always had a problem playing with exceedingly slow players. I
Yeah.
was a quick player. I know there's quick players out here like Nelly Korda, Gino Titicun. They just hit and react, and their caddies are very efficient. And the players that go on and have an extensive conversation with the caddy and or a just over deliberate pre-shot
Right.
routine drives me insane. I would love to see, 4 hours or less every time, both man, woman, and child that are competing at all the levels play. There's really only negative stuff can come into your head if you're overthinking this
Yeah.
game.
Yeah.
You've done your prep, go out and just react and hit the shot.
We've kind of got the catbird seat up here. So I've been watching, and I've watched a few of the players that are new on tour versus the wily veterans. I'll put it that way. And the newer ones, a lot of them are clipping along at a pretty good pace, but there's been a couple that the uncertainty crept in when they were
Mhm.
looking at a putt, and they looked at it, they thought they lined it up, and they backed off, and they went and they did this, and they're going to the side and all that. And you look at them, and it's reflective on the scoreboard too.
Yep. Yep.
That's a very tough deal.
It
This
is.
I
It is. And I think, sometimes players that used to complain a lot, just complain after every single shot, that used to kind of drive me crazy too, because you get tired. I have to listen to that. Do I have to listen to your complaining for
Yeah.
4 hours? If nowadays, if I'm home, I don't care what your game is like. If you play quickly and you have a good attitude, chances are we'll play again and again. If you have a bad attitude and you're slow, it's one and done. I'm not playing time. Life is too short to spend with miserable slow golfers. So,
Yeah, I like to just clip through it, have some fun.
yeah.
I don't even
Hey, and we're all going to miss shots.
Oh,
It's going to happen.
it's going to happen every round.
And that's the big thing too is these players on tour for the most part uh, have a great ability to just forget the bad shot. And it's a really hard thing to do, to let that go. You can have a little quick moment with yourself, then you have to let it go. It's done.
Yeah.
You have to get on to the next shot and be in the present. And that's the way we should live life anyway, day in and day out, no matter what you're doing,
You can't
is
get it back.
be in the moment, enjoy that moment, focus on this moment as much as you can.
Okay, predictions. It's Friday. It's early. They haven't even put the cut line out as far as
Gosh,
just
what are we
before we
at?
did it. So let's do the simple ones. Who are
The
you
cut,
watching?
the
Who are you
cut.
watching? And what's the cut line? And what's the winning score?
Well, right now the cut it would be looking at probably a couple under par at least. Um, it's the thing is this tournament and this golf course does not favor any one player. If you're a long ball hitter, you really don't have an advantage unless you're hitting it straight. A lot of times you have to hit less off the tee. I'm looking at Gino Titicun right now, who's 5 under today, 9 under. She is such a strong player. I watched her yesterday. She's one of those players that makes golf look easy. She hit 17 greens. Her caddy thought she hit 18, but she was technically a half an inch into the fringe. So that's not a green hit.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I also look at Yalimi No, which kind of surprises me because can get a little wild off the tee. She's a beautiful ball striker, but she can hit it sideways a little bit. But she's played well here in the past. You'll see a lot of players come back to the same venue and play well. I like her chances. She's going to be on the Solheim Cup team. Of course, I was happy to see Mario Galdiano, a fellow Bruin, at the
Yeah,
top of the leaderboard
I knew that
yesterday.
was coming.
Well, she's such a good kid. She's from Hawaii. She had a great UCLA career, played with Lilia Vu and Patty Tavatanikit on the team and Bronte Law. She was in, so she had to fight hard for her position at UCLA. And then she's been playing basically she got her card finally last year, then lost it. And she's been playing on the Epson tour. And I would love to see someone like that break through. Whether she wins or not, I would love for her to at least have a top 10 finish and get some momentum going to finish out this season.
Any predictions, Solheim Cup? I
I
know it's a little ways out there, but
I'm going to be working that. I
yeah,
love working. I think this is going to be my 20th Solheim that I've worked. I love that event. I love team golf. I love match play. It's going to be tough for the US to win in Europe. It
yeah.
always is. The home field advantage has a great advantage, but the European team has a few younger members that might just, succumb to the pressure. I'm hoping the USA wins it and gets 2 in a row.
I would love
I'm
that.
actually going over there early with my husband, and we're going to tour Amsterdam and Belgium the week before, then work the Solheim. He's actually working as a team helper for Team USA, and then we're going to jump over to Italy afterwards.
There you're going to eat.
There we will eat
There you're
very
going to eat.
well.
I was going to say,
Yes.
if you want some restaurant recommendations for Amsterdam and stuff, I can send you those too.
Okay,
All
I'd
right.
welcome them. Thank you.
So I don't know where Mark disappeared to. Mark Ganz, is he still?
He is around. He might have gone in for another cup of coffee.
Yeah, he needs more coffee like that. Kay, I wish you the best of luck. Thank you for stopping by. It's a pleasure to have you here on the show today.
Thank
and
you, Jeff.
I
Well,
always enjoy talking to you.
I appreciate your being here and supporting women's golf in general and specifically here in Portland.
Well, thank you. Yeah, it's our pleasure. I got hooked on this when my partner Steve asked me if I wanted to tag along. We were in college together, and he was the official photographer here for years. And so I became his assistant, and I shot all the corporate stuff, and he shot the players. And I started really paying attention to it. And that was 15 years ago or something. And it just kind of drew me in to watch the ladies play. They were so good. They were very approachable. We've talked about that before. And they could smoke any of the guys that I play with by 30 strokes. But regardless, I just really enjoyed the atmosphere of an LPGA event, and I really enjoyed their professionalism and their kindness to people. They're always doing something for some kids in the stands, if you will, side charities, what have you. I mean, the list is long, and they're very approachable, as we've talked about, and they're just good people, and they're tremendous golfers.
Oh, yes.
So I've always that's kind of why I got hooked into this stuff. So anyway, they're bringing Mark around the corner now. Before you go, what is the most? This is a test, Kay. What is the most your most favorite thing you've ever eaten in Portland? And you wait for the jets to go by.
There they go. My husband's capturing those. I'm a big fan of fish, so the salmon here is usually pretty good.
Excellent.
And I always at least have salmon at least once or twice a week
there you
when
go.
I'm here visiting.
There you go. I'll have to send you my cashew crusted salmon recipe.
I've also had some pretty good scones here. You guys have a lot of good bakeries.
Can you tell? Thank you so much.
Thank you.
It's good to see you, and enjoy the rounds. I'll be saying hi to you over the next 3 days.
Sounds good.
All right. Kay Cockerill, everybody, NBC Golf Channel. Always a pleasure to talk to her, and absolutely fantastic. While we're waiting for Mark Ganz to come up here, I wanted to talk to you about Weston Kia. If you're ready for a new ride, choose over 1,000 vehicles at Weston Kia, like the new Kia Sportage, Soul, Forte, Sorrento, Telluride. They have gas, electric, and hybrids. Oregon's all-time leader in sales, in Kia sales. That's Weston Kia out in Gresham. A couple other ones we didn't get to yesterday. The OGA home course, which is my home course for the Oregon Golf Association. It's a Bill Robinson design in Woodburn, and he opened up in 1993. It stretches through the beautiful Tukwila community. It's got rolling hills, sleek valleys, hazelnut orchards. I know because I spend a lot of time in those, encompassing all the environments in one golf outing. That's the home of Oregon's amateur golf. Go to the OGAcourse.com. And finally, my friends at Painted Hills Natural Beef. Back in 97, a group of Oregon ranchers gathered to envision a way to sell their beef while assuring a consistent, high-quality product. Even after 25 years, Painted Hills Natural Beef continues to raise cattle and steward the land in the shadow of the state's famed Painted Hills, raising their cattle the way nature intended without hormones or antibiotics. Go to paintedhillsnaturalbeef.com. As I said, this is a live version of Grilling at the Green, and we are coming to you from the Standard Portland Classic out at Columbia Edgewater on the banks of the Columbia River. And as you can tell, right next to the Portland airport. We're waiting for Mark Ganz to come around the corner. I think he'll be here shortly. He took a call or something. I don't know. He disappeared on us. But and we've got a coming up very soon. We've got Nancy Lopez. It's the first time I've ever been able to interview Nancy, and I'm really looking forward to it. She's as you know, a Hall of Famer. She won 48 tour events, 3 majors. She's in the Hall of Fame, the Associated Press Sportsman of the Year, I think. She's got an incredible list of credentials, and she always comes to Portland. She's always here. He just walked around the corner and then he left. He walked around this corner and then he came back. So yeah, we're gonna pause for a second. I'm gonna tell you about my friends at Birdie Ball really quick. And if Mark doesn't get here, we'll get Nancy in here. Sports Illustrated called Birdie Ball the most realistic roll, and Mike Golf Spy wrote that the roll of the Birdie Ball putting mat is truly exceptional. Golfer Authority, I should say, tour players and teaching pros use Birdie Ball mats for a reason, and it's the closest thing to an actual green you will find indoors. And we talked about Birdie Ball's support of this tournament out there with the kids zone and all of that. So ready to up your putting game? Go to birdieball.com and find out more and get your own Birdie Ball putting green inside and outside and both. And that's birdieball.com. And finally, my friends at Snell Golf, tour level consistency in their new PR3s and PR4s, the premium cast urethane, a new one coming out, very limited, the MTB Black. I just got a box of them. So every Snell ball is designed with refined construction, tighter tolerances, and proven materials. Whatever your game demands, go to snellgolf.com. Now here he is. We had to go get him again. He's got a nice. You're thirsty. Mark Ganz, welcome.
Thank you, Jeff. It's good to be with you.
Nice to see you again. Mark Ganz is the CEO of Tournament Golf Foundation. We've had Mark on the show several times, not this cycle, but in years past, talking about the tournament. And so, from a CEO and head mahoo position, Mark, how are things going?
This is a great year, and last year was a great year. You know, having a really committed title sponsor again makes everything a lot more fun,
Yeah,
and a lot easier. And there's just more that we can do to make it a great experience for the players, and for the fans that come out to watch the players. But I almost get emotional at it because, you know, we had 3 very tough years between the time that Cambia was the title sponsor and the time that the Standard picked up the baton.
Yeah.
And it was really hard. But those of us who were close to this tournament and have supported it since 1972, we did what we had to do to keep it going. And and it took Jeff a lot of faith, a lot of prayer, but a real belief this was important for the community and we were going to see it through, and a new title sponsor would pick up would eventually and believe as we have believed. And boy, the Standard has been fantastic. They are so committed. They really get it. They understand how important it is to boost women athletes.
Yes.
They understand how important this is to boost Portland, which, as you know, needs every boost it can get.
It needs a booster seated sometimes.
Yes,
it
does.
to lift it up.
Yes, it does. But we feel very good at this.
Good. So, as a CEO, because you're the guy with the mugshot out there most of the time in front of it, you get your picture in the program and stuff. What is the toughest of your job, and what is the most fun part of your job?
Well, bar none, the most fun part of the job is being out here, greeting and showing good hospitality to the players who come here from all over the world. And many of the ones that I most appreciate are the rookies. They kind of come in, you can tell they're a little nervous. They're still getting their bearings out on the tour. And I'm always pleased when we get the kind of comments they say, Portland is such a welcoming place. This tournament is just, they seem almost surprised by how welcoming we are. And that just tickles me. That makes me feel good because that's what we're trying to do. And for them to notice it, for them to appreciate it, yeah, that's really, really fun. I would say Sunday, when all the fans gather around the 18th green as the leaders in, and feeling that energy, and seeing, when people will come up to me and say, just be grateful that for the fact that this tournament exists and that we have kept it going, and that is really
Right.
What's hard, I guess, is I wouldn't call it. I guess it's less. When we didn't have a title sponsor, everything was hard. Just trying to,
Yeah.
put it together and make this tournament and keep it going and not have it be kind of a bad experience. We were able to, though I think most people know how tough it was for us, and that was hard to make it look easy. So now it's easier, and so it's easier to make it look easy. But I would say, just in terms of hard, is we need to get our purse up. Our purse is $2 million, and we are at the low end of the. If you look at all the LPGA tournaments, we're at the lower end of that, and that personally bothers me because part of the reason that I got involved with this is I believe that women athletes should be paid the same and should have the same full opportunities as men athletes. And I think the women golfers are every bit as good as the men golfers. If you look at the statistics, the only statistic that they kind of lag on the men's golfer is distance off the tee.
Right.
But every other of the really technical aspects of the game, they are
Oh,
as
they're
good
right
or
there.
better.
Yeah.
And I just want so much for people to recognize that, and for sponsors, or potential sponsors to see that, and instead of giving 93 cents of every dollar to male athletic teams and sports, I'm not asking them to give 93 cents to the women. I'm asking them to give something closer to 50-50. And so what's hard is to convince CEOs and chief marketing executives and the like of companies, if you really believe in women and boosting women, then you need to show it in your sports sponsorships too. And, be more, give more to some of the women's sports, because then we can actually increase our purse, and the purse is what pays the players. So, if we want to have more equity in how women paid for performing the same sport, it comes down to having the sponsorship support.
Right.
That's why I'm so grateful for the Standard, because they get that and they really have leaned in. So what lies ahead is getting our other great sponsors to hopefully dig deeper, and for us to find other companies out there that can capture the vision the way that the Standard has captured the vision. And so if we do that, that will go right to the purse, and we will be able to have a purse that, I would like to see our purse at 4 million, not 2 million. And if we were at 4 million, we'd be right about in the middle of the pack, which is I'm fine with.
Yeah.
Portland is not the biggest market in the world. We were in the middle of the pack. That's a leadership position for us.
Sometimes get the impression that the Classic, the Standard Classic, is one of the on the LPGA Tour. When you talk about, if you talk to the players and you talk to people like Kay and Nancy's coming up, they love this place, right?
They wouldn't call it hidden.
Yeah,
for them, it's very present.
Right. But as far as media and marketing and that, and that's why I say it's hidden gem, because one, they're not paying attention. Some companies are not paying attention to women's sports, and especially women's golf. But also, it's like, well, the men draw crowds, and it's like a hula hoop.
Well, it's that's the thing, is when people use this to say, well, the reason we don't give as much to women's sports is they don't move the dial as much for our marketing needs or whatever. And I always point out to them, the reason they don't move the dial is because there isn't the sponsorship money.
Right.
It's the sponsorship money that moves the dial. And if you look at what's gone with the WNBA now since Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese, Paige Buchers came in. These are people that, they're exciting, and now people are noticing, and we're so excited about the Portland Fire and what they're doing, and I played in the Pro-Am with the Raj Sports founders, Raj and Marta.
Yeah.
And they really get it. Their sense of the vision about what Portland can be as the epicenter for women's professional sports is really exciting. And I like to, it was fun to talk to them and say, our 55 years of experience as being the sole women's professional franchise
Yeah.
in this city, will tell us that yes, you can be successful, and we should work together to make that happen. So
There you
it's
go.
fun. But I do think we're going to get there. I think there is good signs that the Portland Classic. I mean, we doubled the number of patrons coming out for the event. This year, we doubled again on that doubled number. So that tells me people are really starting to
They're paying
embrace.
attention.
Yeah, they're paying attention.
Okay, I'm going to put you on the spot before you go.
Okay.
Winning score and winning golfer.
So, given what the scores are today, and I think the course will get difficult over the weekend, it'll get, it's going to get a lot firmer.
Pin placements get a little tougher.
Mhm. So my winning score, my would be 19 under.
Okay.
And winning golfer, boy, that's a much tougher one. You know who I would be? I have to be careful about that because I don't want.
it.
But I'll say it this: I'm about Marie Marine. She won the Augusta National
Right.
Women's, and we've never had an amateur win this tournament. If my history is correct. And Wooden Marie was right in there on Sunday. And you know what? She's capable of it.
Yeah.
She has game, and it would be. But something like that would be kind of a great story because, as you know, this year we have the LPGA working with the LPGA. They chose our tournament to be the place where the winners of the 4 major amateur tournaments would get an exemption into this tournament. And then in addition to that, we have our own amateur open. And so the winner of that happened earlier this summer got an exemption into this tournament. And the Julie Inkster Award winner, Mega Gani, who's not yet a member of the tour, just graduated from Stanford.
Right.
She's here. And we've always had a tradition of trying to boost amateurs, give them a chance to.
Right.
And I feel like it would be kind of neat if one of the amateurs emerged as a real contender.
Can happen.
It can. It can. So we'll see.
Mark Ganz, my friend.
Good being with you.
Good to see you.
Thank you so much for your support of this tournament and for golf in general.
Oh, my pleasure.
Yeah.
One of these days, we're going to have to actually go play golf together.
I would enjoy that.
Yeah.
I bet you're a better golfer than me.
I don't think so anymore, but we'll see.
Okay.
Thank you, Mark.
Thank
Good
you.
to see you
All right.
again.
Bye-bye.
All right. Mark Ganz, everybody, CEO of the Tournament Golf Foundation, and I've got a very special guest coming up here as soon as Mark stops hugging her. Nancy Lopez. I'm going to actually stand up for you. I'm good. It's nice to meet you. Here, I'll give you get you your little wind job here. Here you go. Please have a seat. What an honor to meet you.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
It's great to be here.
I used to photograph you when you played.
Really?
But we never met. So it's
nice to meet you.
So, okay. Most of you who didn't wake up just yesterday, Nancy's had, see if I get the numbers right, 48 tour wins, 3 majors, Hall of Fame. Now she's got Nancy Lopez Golf Adventures.
Yes, sir.
Okay. AP Sportsman of the Year. It goes on. It's a long, long list. It's really,
you.
I'm almost tongue-tied, which is for me to meet you. What are your memories of playing in Portland? I know you won.
Yes. I always say that when the LPGA schedule came out, I'd always put Portland. I'd look for what the dates were for Portland, Toledo, and Rochester. Those are my 3 favorites.
Yeah.
And so I'd put them in my calendar, and then I would kind of play, how many tournaments will I play up to Portland or how many will I play after? So it kind of just set the schedule because I loved coming here. The weather was not always great, but I loved being able to wear a sweater sometime, and it was nice to be here and being able to play here at Columbia Edgewater. It was such a great golf course. Beautiful. I got to play in the Pro-Am on Wednesday, and it was amazing. They built the tees further back, and it was really long for me compared to what it used to be.
Yeah.
But it's a beautiful golf course. The greens are in great shape. And it would just, you look down the fairway, the first fairway, and you get out there and start playing. It's so pretty. But just one of my favorite places. People have always been great, very supportive of women's golf. And so to come and play in front of them was always a lot of fun.
when you come, if you do the tournament, folks, when you walk from the parking lot, you walk down this path, and they have the past winners on banners. You'll see Nancy; she's there. Let's talk about women in golf for progressed the last few years to at a good rate, and that
Yes.
they're getting better. Can you compare where they are now to when you played?
Oh, wow. Well, I know now that the players are making a lot more money than we
Yeah,
did. Of course, when we started, we thought we were making a lot of money because
yeah,
first place back in the late 70s and early 80s, first place was $15,000. Now you can make $1 million.
yeah, yeah.
But and I remember, when I won the tournaments my rookie year, and I was the first player to reach the $200,000 mark, which was
Pretty
a
big.
lot of money for
Yeah,
us then. So the purses, I think, not that they didn't back then, but the sponsors of today, they want to have the best tournament,
yes,
the best golf course to present to the LPGA players, which is awesome. I looked at the players like Donna Capone, Whitworth, and Carol Mann, and all those great players, and Joanne Carner, that got us to where they got us. And I think they were smart. No, we were the next group that was going to carry the torch for the next part of
sure.
the centuries of golf to come, and to be able to do that. And I hope that whatever I did, and Pat Bradley and Patty Sheehan and all the players hopefully took that torch to the next generation and helped the tour grow with whatever we did, because that was always my goal. I think when you're a top player and you're winning, there's a lot of pressure for you to play
Sure,
all the
sure,
time,
sure.
and of course you'd like to play all the time, but you just can't do it. But when I was asked to do things, I didn't do it for Nancy Lopez. I did it for my tour because I knew that that's what we needed during
Yeah,
that time, and I hope that players always realize that you need to give to a tour that you love, for it to keep growing,
yeah.
because that's the only way it's going to keep growing.
I got to add this little sidebar question. What was it like playing with Big Mama?
Well, she was my idol. She was, when I watched her on TV as a little amateur, in which I didn't get to see her much because we
Yeah,
weren't on television much, but she had such a great attitude. You didn't know if she was playing good or bad. She was just the same all the time, but hit the ball a long way. And when I got to play with her, I played as an amateur with her in the Women's U.S. Open. Of course, I wanted to beat her. I wanted to show her how good I was
sure.
because she's my idol. But she was so much fun to play with. Just a great attitude, great shot maker. I mean, she got in trouble a lot because she didn't hit that driver very straight, but she could get out of trouble
Yeah.
and get on the green from anywhere. And I thought that was always pretty cool.
I thought maybe that's representative of her life in general, getting out of trouble. You never know. You never know.
She was a character for sure.
She was a big character.
Yes.
We were talking about giving back to the tours and that. I think that, from my perspective, that's very, very important. But I think the players now, social media and just stuff like we're doing here, that they have more opportunities to that too, to reach out to
Yes.
fans and to young players, et cetera, et cetera.
Yes.
And if that's step for 2 weeks, and this stuff was available when you guys were coming up, because like you said, you and Joanne and Betsy and everybody like that,
Right.
you're icons now. You're just icons. I mean, there's a display on your stuff in the clubhouse here. I walk by in the morning when I come in. Would that have changed? Would that really have made LPGA tour and performances and tournaments jump, do you think?
Yeah, I think back then it probably would have, for
Yeah.
sure, just to make people more aware of what we were doing out there, and to, keep them informed on what we were doing, how the
Yeah.
purses were growing, where we were. I think too, because when you can do that, there's a lot of places that we go that some people don't know we're there.
Yeah.
And back then, if we could have done that, we'd probably bring more people out to watch women's golf if everybody was connected like that. For sure. I would think it would have even faster.
Well, you guys, well, when you're talking about Joanne and stuff, that was kind of the station wagon brigade back in those days, going from event to event, wasn't it?
Yeah, well, the founders talked about that a lot
Yeah.
when they would travel. They were always traveling in a caravan, and I think they had different color signs, like, red was that, we're going to stop and eat, green, we need gas, whatever, yellow, we have to go to the bathroom,
Yeah.
those kind of things. And I know that that's what they did, so that they could travel together. And then when they got to the golf tournaments, they set up the course. They put up the ropes. They paid themselves at the end of the tournament. Somebody was writing the check for a place you finished.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's amazing, when they were all alive, when they would tell us the stories. It was fun to listen to them.
There was like a little caravan,
Yeah,
kind of
and they did do
traveling
that.
circus, if you
Yeah,
will. Yeah,
yes,
yeah,
yeah.
like that.
They worked very hard I mean, who would have thought these women would have a tour with what they were doing? But they wanted to do it, and they made it happen.
They made it happen.
Mhm.
How's the level of golf compared to when you were on tour as of today? When we look out and we see, Nelly, et cetera, right on down the line, and is it comparable with, given the exception, the technology and the equipment and stuff, from when you were playing to what is today?
I mean, the equipment has definitely changed the game. The
Uh,
players hit it very far. I mean, we hit it far back back in our day. Carter and I were probably average 275 off the tee, and we had wood heads and steel shafts back then.
yeah.
So if we had the equipment that they have today, that would have helped us a lot too. The balls, we were playing a lot of balls back then.
Oh yeah.
So I think the equipment has definitely changed. I think though, I think golfers now are more athletic, because I know when we were on tour, we didn't have the workout trailer, and we didn't have people taking care of us. It was just us, our caddy, and our exercise was walking and playing and practicing all the time. So, I think Annika kind of started that, the athletic part of it. If you were going to stay up with Annika, you had to be in good shape, because she was, after 72 holes of golf, she probably could have played another 72 holes and won again,
Yeah.
because she was in such shape. And you see these players are all really, I mean, 9 out of 10 are in great shape.
Well, and you said, there wasn't a Nancy back in those days, was there?
No, just me and my dad and my
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, that's kind
yeah.
of a team, I guess.
Yeah, small team.
You get better
It
seeing
was
at the
cheaper,
restaurant.
probably.
Yeah. You don't have to take up a banquet table when you go to eat.
No, but just golf was much fun. I still love to watch the players. I played on Wednesday, like I said, in the Pro-Am, and it was so much fun to be out there. I had so many memories of off, and I remembered where I used to hit it,
Yeah.
and then what I had into the greens, and it was really fun. And like, course is just beautiful. It's in great shape, and I just love it here. It's been one of my favorites, and I'm so glad I'm an ambassador for the Standard, and they bring me in. I came in last year before, and now this year, and it's just nice they include me to come and be a part of this event.
I was going to say, have known you to miss too many Portland Classics.
No,
No like that.
yeah.
I'll talk to you about Lopez Golf Adventures.
Yeah. Okay.
How'd you come up with the concept? I'm sure you get, like you said, you play in a program. There's always somebody that wants to play Nancy Lopez. I mean, that's never going to change. But how did you come up with that, and how does it work? And I mean,
Okay.
I've read about it, but you need to tell them.
Okay. Well, this is our 12th year. And the way it started was Teresa Zamboni and Sue Powers. We were all involved with Ladies Links for Golf magazine.
Mhm.
And after the magazine went away, I got to know Teresa and Sue really well. I said, it'd be fun to be kind of partners with them in something. And when I left the tour, I thought, how can I give back? What can I do? I thought about doing golf schools somewhere. Just,
Sure.
have a stationary place, have golf schools. And I talked to Teresa and Sue about it. Well, they pondered about it, and they came back with me and they said, why don't we start something called Nancy Lopez Golf Adventures, and we'll travel. I said, okay. That made me nervous, because I'm like, okay, how are we going to do all this? They work very hard. I just show up.
That's a great job, Nancy.
It is.
That's a
It
great
is.
job.
But I work really hard when I'm there.
Okay.
So anyway, they thought, let's travel, let's teach. Some of our schools are more teaching, some are more golfing, and then we teach while they're golfing. And it's been a lot of fun. We have men and women, we have wives. Anybody that wants to come and be a part of it, you can be just a starting golfer to a really decent golfer. We can always give you tips. I always tell people, can't get better unless you know what to work on.
Right.
Because you can go on the driving range and hit all the balls you want, and if you don't know what you're trying to fix, you're not going to get better. So it's a lot of fun. We'll go on 4 or 5 day trips. We were in Iceland last month. We took 50 people, and we played golf. It was kind of cold, but it was, when you're with 50 people, it's okay because everybody's cold
Everybody's
together.
cold.
Now, if I go with my husband and it's cold, we're like, we're not playing today, okay? So it's like a team, and
Yeah.
we're all out there. We're having a good time. Um, Teresa and Sue, great players, top 50, great teachers, great in the top 50 on the LPGA Tour, teaching
Yeah.
professionals. Now we have Nancy Henderson, who did work for the LPGA. Now she's joined us.
Oh,
And
good.
so we have a great team. They're fun. They don't beat you up when you're trying to learn how to play golf. They're going to help you. And I too, I've learned how to teach because I didn't know how to teach.
Yeah.
Everybody says you're a professional golfer. Why can't you teach? I'm like, I just teach feel what I'm thinking.
Yep.
But now I can really teach because I've learned from them. But we have a good time. We were in the month before. We played the open course that everybody played. So we were, everybody was like, "Oh my gosh, I get to watch this on TV," and we played here.
Yeah.
So we just try and find places that are fun for people to go to. Sometimes they'll say, "Well, can we go? We'll work on a trip somewhere else." It's just whatever they want to do. But we have a great time, and if I can give back by teaching, it started where I said, we have to get women out there on the golf course, make them feel comfortable,
Yeah.
make them feel like they belong on the golf course instead of being intimidated. And so we kind of started like that, but then the husbands started coming, and we always joke that my husband leads the pub crawls. So they have a good time, and then the husbands play with the wives. If they want to play with the guys, they can. But we just try and make it a lot of fun, and we plan all the dinners. And when we're in Iceland, we planned all the different sites that we were going to go see.
Sure.
So we're all together, and we have a really good time.
Did you play under the northern lights?
We didn't. We were there. We weren't there at the right time, but it was beautiful to watch the waterfalls and the glaciers and things
Yeah.
like that. And it was just so cool that it was just an island of volcanic action.
Yeah.
There's volcanoes there all the time, and I was like, okay, well, I hope nothing goes off over here because I want to get home.
They did that about 4 or 5 years ago. They had one go off, and it kind of closed air traffic over
Yeah.
Europe part of the time.
Yeah.
So you couldn't go anywhere.
Yeah.
That's all the ash. Good to put you on the spot a little bit, Nancy. What was your winning score here? What was your best winning score? Do you remember?
Holy moly, it was probably really good.
And that's an unfair question because I didn't look it up. Okay, so I'm just asking as a point of
Yeah,
reference.
you know what? That's probably out of my memory banks. I'd have to go back and look. But I won the junior when I was 17 also.
Do you remember that score?
Not just well, it was match play.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, I won the U.S. juniors here. My mom and dad were with me, and
Oh,
the
good.
clubhouse was across the street back then.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a lot of good memories here. It's been a good place for me.
So the reason I ask is I wanted you to make a prediction about what the winning score will be on Sunday afternoon, and then
Okay.
who are you betting on, maybe in a analytical fashion, and maybe who's the dark horse for you.
That's a lot of questions.
It is. That's my
well,
job.
I'm going to say the score. Right now, someone's 12. I'm going to go with 17 under.
Okay.
And a lot of people are like, "Oh, they're tearing up the golf course." But I said, "But that's not because the golf course is easy.
No.
It's because it's in great shape.
Yeah.
The greens are, if you can figure out the break and the speed, you can make some putts because they're so beautiful, so smooth. Now, picking a winner, I don't know half the players out here anymore, which I hate to say that. I just come out, I get to watch them, I get to meet them again. And, there was one thing I wanted them to do on tour many years ago, especially after I retired, was when I buy a player, I wanted her to tell me her name. Hi, I'm so-and-so.
Yeah.
And I'd say, hi, I'm Nancy. 'Cause that's the only way you're going to really learn all these players' names. Brooke is not here. I would have probably been thinking Brooke might win.
Yeah.
I talked to her before I got here to see if she was going to be here, and she's resting for the Canadian Open. And I understood that because I don't think people realize you have to have a plan. And if you need to rest, to do that, because it's all about having a good schedule and be ready for an event. And she hated it because she loves it here.
She loves it here. Yeah.
She loves it here, and really, not happy that she wasn't coming, but she made the choice to just get ready for the Canadian Open, which I think she's a defending champion of. But there's so many great players. I know some of them. Don't know a lot. I went to breakfast this morning. I'm like, oh my gosh! I told my husband, I don't know very many of these players.
They know you.
Well, they're very friendly. They say hi, but I guess that should be a mine is get to know all the players some way, one way or the other. But the beautiful golfers, great players, and they're going to carry the LPGA tour to the next level.
Where would you like to see the LP? Can't talk. See, you still got me tongue-tied here. Where would you like to see the LPGA Tour in, say, 5 years? As far as they've made incredible strides in prize money, venues, with the Epson Tour, and the things are really coming together, starting to gel.
Yeah.
But what would Nancy Lopez like to see happen?
I would like to see more American players at the top of the leaderboard. We've got so many players from all over the world that are great champions, but it's kind of fun to root for the American player when they're playing, and I like to see more of that. I think our biggest issue is just the other players from other countries are very disciplined. In the United States, like we've had the junior girls golf camps, and we get these players and we get them hooked, but at age 15, 16, they start having boyfriends.
Yeah, that's a problem.
There's not discipline anymore because they want to do that, and that's okay. That doesn't make them bad people. But the discipline compared to the other countries is different, I think. So I would really like to see more American players coming out, using those golf scholarships at colleges and becoming more serious about playing the game of golf.
Sure.
And then purses, I know when I was a rookie in 1977, my goal was to see us catch up with the guys, that our purses would eventually be close to the guys. And we did. We moved up here, and the guys were there.
Yeah.
So we were, we couldn't catch up. And I'd like to be able to see that because I believe that these girls play and work hard as a PGA Tour players, and I would like to see them make the same amount of money.
That would be good.
It would be a good thing. But I think, the sponsors we've got are solid, and I hope that, they'll stay as part of the family of the LPGA. We have Craig is a great commissioner. I believe everybody really likes him, and that's good because there's sometimes you have commissioners where nobody really wants to talk to them because they're just difficult, but he's been really good, I feel like. And so, as long as we keep going the positive direction, I know that I think the players, as they started to go, leave the tour better than you found it.
Yep.
It's so important because players, I know when I was a player, I wanted to help my tour grow. And if I had to go to the pro-am parties, I went. And I hope that these players realize that they still have to do all that. It's important. It's important to the sponsor.
Yes.
Because they have to put a tournament on for you.
No.
That they don't, wake up and them go, I think I'll put on a tournament for the LPGA. But the players have to always give back, and that's how they're going to make the tour stronger, by giving back. I mean, you're there that whole week. What are you doing? It's your job, a good job. It's not like
it's a great job.
Yeah. So go to those pro-am parties. When the sponsors ask you to do stuff, do it. I remember back when I won 9 tournaments. If whatever tournament you won, the next year you would go do a pre-press conference before the tournament, like months before. So that second year that I was on tour, I did 9 press conferences in all the cities that I won in. I went back there.
Sure.
I know they don't do that anymore. They may once in a while, but to do 9, I was thinking about, boy, that was a lot.
That was
to go
a lot.
back and do those press conferences, and then I won 8 the second year, and so now you're doing them again, and that was just what we did back then.
Yeah.
But the sponsors are very important, and I want the players to always realize that they don't have a job if we don't have these great sponsors.
Absolutely. Nancy Lopez, it has been my absolute honor and
Thank
pleasure
you.
to meet you. It really
Nice
has.
to meet you, too. Thank you for being out here.
Oh, no, wouldn't miss it for the world.
Great.
Stay with me for a second.
Okay.
We're going to wrap it up for Grilling at the Green for this episode here on Friday, August 14th from the Standard Portland Classic at Columbia Edgewater Golf Course. So for Nancy Lopez and myself, we wish you have a good day, and we'll be back tomorrow, same time, same multiple channels. Take care, everybody.